This video is made for adult collectors because I really need to put this like Super Sentai Cube transforming thing down. I keep clicking it and it's all you're gonna hear. So my original plan for just the little introduction of this video was to put all the Wave 1 figures on the desk and then like put this guy in the middle of it. He fell over. But more importantly, look what just shipped. I clicked on it. I'm so excited. This has to be one of the strongest starts to a wave refresh in a while. We got so many friggin' toys this wave, it's not even funny. A normal wave, like before this, would consist of 2 or 3 cores, 3 or 4 deluxes, 1 or 2 Voyagers, and 1 or 2 leaders. This year though, Hasbro is using this new strategy of putting out less waves a year to extend the shelf life of their products so they're easier for most to get, which seems to be the case so far in a lot, not all, but a lot of regions. And on social media, I've been seeing loads of people posting about their hauls and what's in their stores more than usual, and it's really nice on launch day seeing all these people go to stores in a lot of places at the same time and posting about all the stuff they're finding. And the good thing is about the less is more strategy that they have is that it means people can budget easier, what with tariffs and other spending things looming. This means that it's less product to want to spend money on, but enough to keep you satisfied. I've also noticed that my shelves have been pretty well stocked, like stuff will disappear and then new stuff will show up like a week later. It's great. I'm also not counting Silverbolt and Star Convoy because they don't officially release till August, so they're part of Wave 2's release for me. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite from this wave though. I am very curious. Give me like a top 5. This first wave though broke the tradition with the Deluxe, Voyager, and Leader assortment. This generation's wave saw 4 Deluxes, 2 Voyagers, and 2 Leaders, pretty standard, but this Studio Series wave saw 5 Deluxes, 3 Voyagers, and 2 Leaders. That's wild. 2 of those deluxes are A-level, meaning they're going to be on the shelves for even longer than most toys and will be available wider. I like this wave so much, I got all of them. Like, all of them. Actually, side note, this is box set Jazz, and this is the original release of Studio Series Shockwave, but they are essentially the same toys. I just didn't feel like spending the money again on those. We are also not going to question why Q is holding Rung. He just was. I forgot why I put Rung in his hand, but that is how Q is going to be displayed for the rest of my life, is he's going to have Rung in his hand. Okay, so turns out the fan is still on. It turns out that Red Alert is not going to be featured very much in this video anymore because I was setting them all up on the shelf behind me to get like a cool shot of the shelf and then me holding Solus in front of it to talk about how Solus Prime is probably the weakest toy. And this by no means means Red Alert is the weakest toy. He took a tumble off the shelf, and in the process of doing that, that sheared clean off. My Red Alert's arm just decided to come right off. That's fun. I mean, these toys are designed to break in a very specific way because safety, and it did that. I will give it props for that, but also, god damn it, it's broken. I will customer service this and then I will go buy a new one. But like, in an attempt to sort of recreate what happened with this, I put him here, right? And I just stood him here so I could go get the other figures to put him up. And I went to put the deluxes here and then I was just gonna put him back there, but I knocked him and he wobbled and then fell. And so I went to catch him and I hit him and I hit him into this, you can't see that. I hit him into this shelf and he hit these 2 idiots, right, on my rare shelf, which is not the shelf I want to be throwing things into, and they all fell. And then it went past the hunt for the the hunt for the Decepticon shelf, so I tried the same thing, and I smacked it again because I'm like, and I smacked it. It hit everything on this shelf, and that's when the arm just like it hit right here, this bit, and went, and it came right off. And then he hit the floor. The floor is carpeted. It wasn't the floor impact. It was this. I'll buy a new one. This wave was also almost completely amazing. There's just one figure that I think drags it down ever so slightly. Solus. Guess we'll start with the packaging. New boxes. These look like those more collector-oriented boxes you'd see from some like import products. I didn't like them at first, but now they've grown on me. The art is neat, drawn by Yellowfly Studios, and the packaging is done by Pilot Agency. I know everyone was quick to call like AI on the art because it was different, and it is a bit strange when you're looking at like the original renders that used to be on the Studio Series boxes. But here is bro drawing Sentinel's art, and here is bro drawing Bone Crusher's art, trying out different shading techniques and so on. So yeah, they do draw the box. It's an art studio. Every single one of the toys, minus Wasp, Shockwave, G2 Grimlock, have their own videos if you want more in-depth looks at those. But the previously mentioned 3 have had their other decos looked at, well, all but Shockwave. Guess we'll start with the Deluxes. Age of the Primes gave us 4. Waspinator, Solus, Air Raid, and Slingshot. Oh, I wrote Slingshit by accident in this script, not Slingshot. Oopsie. All 4 of these look great and are mostly solid. Solus is the one that carries the issues with the feet and the arm panels coming off easily, but I've mostly fixed mine. But other than those bits, this is like a solid offering of figures. The plastic on all of them has been good to great, with the aerial bots feeling the best out of the 4. And then you have Studio Series with its 5 deluxes, technically, because you have your regular 4 and then Bone Crusher, but 2 of those regular 4 are also A-levels, so they don't come in the same case as Jazz and Q, which is 1 Jazz and 2 Qs. So Jazz is Jazz. This toy has been done 100 times at this point, but Q is really nice to have because he feels like an old school Bay toy, and to someone like me, that's a nice thing to see in this sea of Transformers 1 and 86 stuff. Not complaining about those. I like those too, but it's nice to get a Bay thing every now and then. Bone Crusher, well, crushes it. His proportions are a little funky, but his like bulldozer mode is solid. And the 2 A-levels are just nice to both look at and mess with Bumblebee being very movie accurate and more fun to transform than the original one from when the movie released. And Devastation Prime still surprises me because this figure kind of came out of left field. It didn't look great in the original photos, but in hand, most people I know who have gotten it love it. It's goofy, but fun.
I went out and I got another one. There he is. And his arm's intact, yay.
The Voyagers are the same story, however, there are no bad ones here. Like, some of them have a couple of issues, yeah, but like, they're all solid. The Age of the Primes ones are Prima and Red Alert. Red Alert being the most solid figure I think Hasbro has made in a very long time. Sometimes a bit too solid, as we saw the arm come off. I'm still blaming myself for that one. I did smack it into a shelf and his arm came right off. And Prima poses very well. I just wish the alt mode was less that. The Studio Series offerings were 3, Scrapper being a smaller and more refined Combiner Wars toy with the world's strongest ankle ratchet in the torso. That and the whole build of him being an ankle prohibited him from having a waist joint, which is a bit but I understand. Then the regular case assortment, you get Gamer Ironhide, who is the same as Ratchet with new colors, tooling, and weapons. And then Sentinel, one of the best Studio Series Voyagers in my opinion. He's so solid, smooth, he's got all 3 modes in. I just wish he had a sword, and I wish the shoulders pegged in a little bit better. But I have no large complaints with any of the Voyagers. I like all of them. Then we get to the leaders, my favorite size class. Age of the Primes gave us 2, same with Studio Series, and both were 1 new mold and 1 redeco / package refresh. The Age of the Primes one, Grimlock, and the Fallen. Damn. Grimlock is just the 86 toy, but blue. It's a very nice blue. Oh my god. They made, I think, the most pleasing shade of blue on a G2 Grimlock ever. It looks and feels great. But Megatronus, good lord, he is fantastic. Dense and weighty with so much articulation and like sauce. And the flames, such a nice addition. His tank is cool, but the only issue I have is that the turret doesn't feel super stable. It's the front. The front feels weird, but that's also so that the turret can go up and down. It's a bit weird. Then we get to the Studio Series one. This is Shockwave, it's the old one. He has loose feet, but I have the blade and the little guys on the way from a friend. Thank you, Mikey. But Prime, let's just get into what I think is the best toy of the entire wave. This thing does so many interesting, well, things. The robot mode looks not as accurate as Galvatron's did to its screen model, but it does a lot of the same things as Galvatron. Prime uses the space of the alt mode so effectively that there's just extra truck with no robot to fit in it because all of the robot tucks away really nicely into the rest of the truck. You could probably turn this mold into a flat nose truck and not have to change the way the robot looks, if that makes any sense. It feels and poses pretty great, though I wish the waist wasn't as limited, and the actual transformation is so clever with how the arms fold up and the hip skirts become the front headlights. Like, I never would have seen that coming. It's just a solid ass toy. And that's what I want to call this wave. It's a solid ass wave. Even though Solus has a couple of issues, I still would recommend her and all of these figures, so long as you're okay with fixing Solus. But again, yeah, what was your favorite from this wave? Let me know in the comments down below because I'm curious. But my favorite is Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. But that's been my look at this Wave 1 refresh. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.